So I'll talk about one specific thing, which I think everybody here could identify with, which is how do we get so that you can have really sharp visual clarity all the time? And right now, the headsets have fixed lenses that focus on the and that means that everything close to the is really not a sharp picture. And as resolutions go up and as optics improve, that will become more and more apparent. And obviously, especially when you start looking at the real world, you want to so there are a number of ways that can publishing, is the research you're coming up with, Oculus research, on the model of Facebook's approach to data centers, where it's all very open, and they want to improve the world by sharing their information? Or is it closer to what a traditional hardware manufacturer has and saying, this is a competitive field, this is proprietary information? How do you view that, and how open are you about maybe not the middle of it, but eventually sharing your breakthroughs? Ultimately, we'd like to share all of the breakthroughs, but obviously, ultimately there's a ways off. So we publish, and we do want to be sharing information. It is not our priority to publish. It's a side effect of having done novel, innovative work. And if folks here wanted to become part of your effort there, how would they go about that? Well, we certainly have a page listing all of our openings, and we would love to have people here join us. So we are looking for the best people in the world, and that's really the bottom line. This is going to be a long journey with a great many challenges, and we need great people. Facebook itself is, a huge, consumer and creator of artificial intelligence there. What's the role of AI in machine learning in what you're doing? Machine learning is a critical part of making many of the systems that need to happen become good enough. So for example, if you take something like hand tracking, it can help a huge amount if what you do is use machine learning to help start the searches for things. So it's not that you just throw things into a machine learning framework. Machine learning can be critical for helping parts of various pipelines work much better.
to being wire wrapped can be set in bezels and prongs and caps. These are all one of a kinds. You've got merlinite, tuxedo onyx, you've got red laser, you've got jet, rhodochrosite, opal, zicote, meteorite, larimar, chrysocolla, selenite. You've got quartzes and ambers and rubies and moonstones and jade and lots of mold right here, including vestiglaces. And then this entire tray themselves to being wire wrapped can be set in bezels and prongs and caps. These are all one of a kinds. You've got merlinite, tuxedo onyx, you've got red laser, you've got jet, rhodochrosite, opal, zicote, meteorite, larimar, chrysocolla, selenite. You've got quartzes and ambers and rubies and moonstones and jade and lots of mold right here, including vestiglaces. And then this entire tray is sugilite, because there's just not enough sugilite jewelry in the world, including something cool like that. Here is a spotlight video about Moldavite. This is a large parcel that I just got from Europe, and everything was put into 2 padded envelopes that were not opened by customs. That's great. But imagine what it was like for me when I got my package, and this side was flopping against that side like 2 sides of a horse saddle. And then I got all these little bags, pretty old, worn out bags, and just a tiny bit of bubble wrap for all of this. Each one of these bigger pieces was rubber banded and loosely. Some of them were just showing right through the bubble wrap. And then all of these guys, the little ones, I'm not sure what the basis was for their packing separately, but you can see the numbers here are not written in any way that anyone in the US would write them. And then some other drops. This one's great. These are kind of powerful with a big curve to them. This is big, but a little bit wonkily shaped. 3 angles like that. So that's a little added value there. So these will not be sold by weight. They will be sold by the piece. There's another one that stands nicely. Over here, I really like that this one has another one of those fissures running through it, like a Start of a new life, bruh. Delicious.
Hello everybody. So I got a PS5 for no reason at all. I just decided that I want to play some games today, and then I went to the department store and just got it, and the guy was like, "You just gonna buy it?" I was like, "Yeah." And then I was like, "I don't know anything about games."
插 pass 的游戏片在这边。
在那边。
对对对。
就这边。
对啊。因为啊，插 pass 的这个主机啊，有一个还蛮特别的地方，就是它会送一个3个月的。
那可是为什么那个这边这么多？
不同主机。
那个是什么主机？那是 PS。
那是 PS。
好，那插 box，因为我想玩什么蜘蛛人什么的，没有。
哦，蜘蛛人你不会在他们家找到。
就我看到那些我都会。
当然是说你说蝙蝠侠。
This is my very first console, by the way. I didn't even know it was called console until like now. Imagine a guy who just like bought a whole home gym, and then he didn't even know the difference between a deltoids and pecs, or bench press and squats. This field is equally awake and luminous, and the movements of the characters, very playful and spontaneous and fluid, really emphasize the sense of no doership. None of the characters are being controlled from inside or from anywhere, right? This is one seamless movement, not just with the world, but as the world. You completely disappear into the fabric of the game. Even the controller vanishes, and the game is just creating and playing itself. Much the same way that after a realization, even the intention of being aware or paying attention to this or that is happening by itself. And the most ordinary tasks become extremely divine. See all those household mundane objects in the video game. It's so fascinating to look at. Just like in an awakened state, every object is a holographic projection, embedded with its own awareness without your help. See all the pixels inside a video game are made up of nothing, right? So the characters have no idea if they're having an experience, so they don't know what they're perceiving. And anything that isn't rendered directly right now in their perception doesn't exist. Likewise, in real life, anything that isn't in your direct experience right now is imagined. Some thoughts about the past or fantasies about the future. Space, time, and distance are constructions of the mind. Just like there's no depth inside the video game. But even the present moment perception is empty. You don't know what the fuck you're perceiving, except for some conceptual layover. Maybe you perceive some colors and forms, always made out of sensations. But what the fuck are sensations? The sensations in themselves don't know the difference between pleasure and pain. Only thoughts do. But thoughts are also made up of empty sensations. So as you abide in the fill in the blank of the true nature, you become pure potentiality, neither dead nor alive. But the sense of unknowing is actually the emptiness that Shi Yang says is the connective tissue that binds the universe together, aka love. See, without the preference and distinction between this or that, all that's left is unity, which also includes the particulars. See, when emptiness and form are identical, even the spaces between objects and entities are bouncy and elastic like a basketball. And again, this is not just some concept. It viscerally feels like this in a natural state. In the process of awakening, it's almost a physical and biological transformation. So treat it like fitness, brah. There's no such thing as spiritual knowledge. See, if there's just one particle of solidity in the center of your experience,
what do you think? What do you
awakening.
think the rigor and
There's just
discipline?
you as yourself experiencing God versus
What do you
reality
think?
being itself. See, The only reason why you don't feel like you're the entire universe right now is because of the physical solidities within your body mind. See, the nature of reality, quote unquote, is not something you read in spirituality books or just understand with the mind. It's what you always after you physically shred away every single speck of solidity and layers of onions of your body mind. When we talk about psychedelic trips as if they are the truth of reality, it's kind of like, you know, wearing a VR goggle and experiencing the world as Ronnie Coleman, the avatar in the VR game. And then once you take out the goggle, you can track back to the separate self and you go around saying, hey, I'm Ronnie Coleman, and you haven't even lifted the weights. Speaking of VR goggles, this is a great metaphor for awakening. It's like your whole life you've been wearing this VR goggle, and then you take it off, you're holy shit, I was in the Matrix. I wasn't what I thought I was in the world, isn't what I thought about it.
Wait, what do you think? What do you think the rigor and discipline is to
understand the duality between real and unreal?
What do you think that is?
The ultimate wisdom is the merging of both the absolute and the relative. The more your mind is tuned into the absolute, the less attachment you're gonna have for the apparent forms. You want to turn on the autopilot, yet everything within the dream are carried out skillfully. My awareness is as vast as the sky, but my attention to details of the cause and effect and conditionings and karmas of the relative world is as fine as a particle in a grain of sand. Contraction is expansion. Ta-da! The reason why people like to play video games, it's obvious, you get to play a role by externalizing your consciousness onto other characters. Look at this game, NBA City. You can build your own players, you can even skin your face, and have the avatar look exactly like you. You can get your shoes, you buy shoes, temporarily transcend the self. If you take this all the way, you can externalize your consciousness completely by flipping yourself inside out. The whole universe becomes conscious. The price you pay is that you die. This is why enlightenment is beyond consciousness, so to speak. And the reason why we spend so much energy in maintaining this avatar is to avoid facing traumas. You're progressing to the next level of consciousness by shredding away the next level of conditionings. And you unlock different mystical states, different insights, and different fruits. It's almost like, you know, God throws candies at you. And when you eat one of those mushrooms, you know, superpowers like Mario. And as you go from the surface level of reality to the source, by entering subtle levels of the mind and deeper into the samadhis and jhanas, some of those outer states feels almost exactly like we can do with video games. The texture, the feels, the looks, the lights, the power. But eventually, you dissolve all of that, you transcend all of that. Everything within the spirituality, religious paradigm, it still belongs to the dream state, to the process of unfoldment, not the end goal itself. True nature of the natural state is completely outside of that paradigm. It cannot be talked about at all. It's just too obvious. The quote-unquote nature of reality will be revealed to you once you remove all lenses of perception, once you exhaust it, all meditative states and all psychedelic experiences. That's all, again, just a byproduct of the shredding away of the unfoldment of dreamy mind and conditionings. Eventually, you beat all the levels and all the games, and then you're ejaculated out of the screen altogether. The video game of your life has been rebooted as the whole universe disappeared and then reappears. So the universe fucks itself until poof! The ninth jhana, the highest attainment in meditation, is exactly that. You reach the edge of consciousness, the universe disappears, and then reappears again. Now to return to the game, you become an absolute normie, playing the infinite game, open world, 360 degree without no purpose or goal. You know, somebody asked a very wise man, what is Buddha beyond Buddha? And he said, not Buddha. Do you still think you're better or worse, or more spiritual, or more free than other people? Enlightenment hasn't hit you yet. You experience nirvana in samsara. Being and non-being, contraction and expansion merge as one. A permanent cessation, unified with God consciousness. You're abiding that which is prior to and manifests all levels of consciousness. Once you're in of the world, but not all of the world, it feels like one of those invisible cheat codes, or invincible cheat codes. You can just kind of walk around the game, nothing can affect you. And other cheat codes includes all different levels of consciousness and meditation. You get to be anyone and flip through all the jhanas, like a TV channel or switching video games. But every ground that you step on during the path, it's only there to dissolve. Not only the previous ground, but to dissolve itself. So it's like now you can shift back and forth between, you know, the bird eye view, the God view, the first hidden view. Shift back and forth, or experience all levels in between something. A lot of people think awakening is about gaining more levels of consciousness. It's more like externalizing your individual consciousness over the whole universe. At the end, when every particle of itself is subject completely empty out, the bubble of awareness of the object also pops. It completely leaves the body. Body, mind, perception, world, observer, consciousness. Everything gets sucked into the object. Have your body, mind completely blind. Spiritual comes, and let go of identity and not the it's your full realization. Genuine will steal everything from you. Leave no trace. Gain nothing but the reward. If I was to give you the choice of living one more day experiencing life the way I experienced it, or living 20 more years as a wealthy, healthy, celebrity, sexual activist, belongs for everybody, but not experiencing what I experienced and taking it by faith, the decision will be a no-brainer. I'll take the one day of playing this strategy and work. Well, what do you think of like video games?
Playing is actually like more primal than war. Right? People think like war is so primal, but like when mammals are well fed, like they just want to play. But if they just tweak their matchmaking algorithm to say like match with players like in your city, or match with people of your same age in your city, then it's actually a great platform to make like close friends and connection. And it can be such a positive force.
Right.
It's like your consciousness.
Right, it is.
I love that mind system model. It's like consciousness is not thing is actually an empty space. It's a space for your sub-minds to communicate.
Right.
Yeah, and like these online platforms, it's just a space for each of us, we're each a sub-mind. Yeah, it's just that when they do their matchmaking, they can make it so that people actually make friends with each other in real life too.
And you can play the game in real life. That'll be like double meta.
Yeah, double meta.
Yeah, that's not something I never thought about. Like when I got into video games, I just like that's another like realm right there. That's like another multi-dimension right there. When you start to play with other people and other consciousness.
But I was in the bathroom and I had a blunt. But at the end of the blunt, it was like a snake. And then all of a sudden, it fell out my hand and it got between the bathroom and the sink, like the floor right there. And then I was looking for it, and it just disappeared. And I was tight. And I was like, what the fuck? But at the end of my blunt, it was a real live snake, like a snake. So when I woke up, I was like,
que da medo.
Sort of tempting is very risky. I suspect that they are not the only ones watching, but it must be done or we lose the bridge forever. When I hear this again, will it help me remember? Or once looped, will I be just as muted as the others?